Hello, friends. This is Jay Hendricks with Powerful Thought Daily. Today, I wanted to talk with you about the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali and Raja Yoga, Part 1. Yesterday I had a video. Go back and take a look about a few of the different paths of yoga and where they apply in our experience, whether that's physical body, vitality, emotions, and mind. And Raja Yoga is the yoga of the mind, and it includes all the previous ones that I stated and transcends them. So it has the most utility, and it is the yoga that starts bridging the gap between you and the other. So, where Raja Yoga starts is with the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Now, this is an ancient text that was compiled by Patanjali, and it's 196 sutras. It was compiled sometime prior to 400 AD, so it's very old. And it's a synthesis of all organized knowledge about yoga from older traditions. Hindu tradition holds the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali to be one of the foundational texts of classical yoga philosophy. So I would encourage you to go on Amazon or something and to find a translation of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. There's many out there. A lot of them have commentaries with them. So it's basically based on your own preference and how you want to look at it. They're pretty cheap to buy. It's very short. It's a short book, but each sutra, each verse in it is very direct, concise. You can spend, weeks on one verse and just picking it apart and pondering it. And that's what I would suggest to do, is to go out and at least get one copy of the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali and to start with the first verse and just ponder that for a few days. And then go to the next one and ponder that for a few days. It's an interesting thing to do if you're bored, or I know there's apps that you can get, and you can get the whole Yoga Sutras on your phone, and they're free, so you can go get them. And if you're ever bored one time, you can just look it up and think about it for a sec and how it applies to you and your path. So, anyway, Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga is the instruction in the science of union. So yoga means union. Take my yoke upon you, take my yoga upon you. It's a union thing that we unify with all that there is around us. So this union is achieved through stilling the mind stuff, which people have called the chitta, or the mental matter. And when you still that, that is when your consciousness rises and becomes aware of the soul. It can begin to see the subtle vibrations emanating from the soul when that mind is stilled. Okay, so this mind stuff can be eased and stilled through practicing understanding between people, gentleness, kindness, having steadiness of purpose, and dispassion. What is dispassion? Well, dispassion is not having a too ready response to the vibrations and experiences of the lower realms. So you're experiencing the mind, you're experiencing the emotions and all of their good and bads and negatives and positives. You're experiencing pleasure and pain and craving and all these things. But you detach from it, and you're not readily responsive to it. You're not subject to those experiences and sensations, you can say. So it's a practice of noticing something. It's mindfulness. It's noticing, oh, I'm craving that piece of cake right there. And then you just observe that craving, and you're not readily responsive to it. And then you can cultivate this and become dispassionate about anything that tries to draw your attention to it, especially things that are going to disrupt the mind stuff. Like too much alcohol can do this, too much anything can do this. Okay, so the stillness of the mind is also achieved through regulation of the prana or life breath, which can be done by a technique of relaxation found in deep meditation by applying that Om or Christ vibration to any diseased part of the mind, emotions, vitality, or body. So it kind of becomes an unfolding of relaxation. You're seeking, once you find this subtle vibration in deep meditation, and that it is at the center of everything, and that your attention and will to any dis-ease that you can see. Like, let's say you have negative thoughts and you start being mindful of that. You start seeing that it's kind of feels like or is like an entanglement of ideas. Well, you can look at those entanglements of ideas. And when I say look at it, I mean perceive it. You can sense that it's there. You can observe it, and then you can know that that vibration is in that, trying to relax it, and you can allow that to happen. So it's kind of like and everyone has to find this for themselves. It's like, you know that vibration's in there, and the thing that's making it so that that cannot relax is you. And so you're learning to relax in very deep levels in your mind and your emotions and your body. So, deep meditation and seeking to achieve deep meditation and finding this vibration is very important and key to union, because once everything is silenced, then everything shuts off and you can perceive the soul, perceive higher realms. Now, I don't want that to be confused with illusion, and it's not like you're going to step into a cloud of heaven and everything. It's not like that. It's a lot more realistic, and you have to experience it for yourself. Okay, so Raja Yoga is a scientific process of testing, experimenting, and reproducing the experience of God. So a lot of people who are very devotional and who seek to pray, who seek to, uh, you know, all these other practices of looking at pictures, having candles, having I forgot what they're called, the shrines. That's what they are, or any kind of devotional, form of worship is going to be a more mystical kind of worship where you're kind of pleading for the experience of God. But this process is reproducible. So you learn to reproduce this. So it's scientific in the sense that it's personal science. You're still applying the scientific method, and you you can't necessarily do it with others unless the others that you're with have also accepted the same things that you have, and then you can begin to communicate with each other with ideas, and you can start working in the realm of idea and conception, but not being attached to those things. They're just tools to use to communicate with others and to gain more understanding and knowledge. Okay, so let's see. Raja Yoga is a scientific process of testing, experimenting, and reproducing the experience of God. It allows the practitioner to observe the mind and produces the needed introspection. This could be called concentration, which is mind studying the mind. So you're learning to observe your own mind. And I think this can be confused as I am everything, because we experience everything through our minds. in my opinion. And so when you're observing the mind, it's as though you're observing the whole universe, because you're observing the faculty that is interpreting the whole universe around it. It's a sphere that reflects everything inside of it. So you're looking at that, and you don't want to confuse the mind with everything else. So if you ever get like a glass globe, or that's why crystal balls are used in this kind of thing a lot, but a crystal ball is a good, if you get one of those things and look at it, our eyes are like crystal balls, but a clear sphere has an effect on everything around it, and you can start to see how the mind kind of works if you study those things, and how it flips images upside down and how it reflects everything around it, and it's very interesting. I think you can buy like little crystal balls for like $8. So those are interesting to study too. Not as a crystal ball person, but just to actually see how the light goes into the sphere and how it's just very interesting. Okay, so the process of studying the mind includes concentration, discovering facts in the mind, generalizing from those facts, forming conclusions, and then discovering more inclusive facts. So what you're doing is you're building and refining your conception of everything, yet you're remaining detached from that conception and not fully attached and saying this is all that reality is. You're using the mind as a tool. It's like eyeglasses, or like a telescope or a microscope. Our minds are these structures and tools that we use. So then the primary saying of Raja Yoga is believe nothing until you find it out for yourself. Believe nothing until you find it out for yourself. So I like that, because faith is incredibly important, but we're not putting all of our eggs into the faith basket, of course. We're not, and what I mean by that is we're not having blind faith. We're not just trusting in something and not seeking understanding and just going with the sheep, we can practice faith and following something, but we always need to be seeking to understand why that is. If God tells us to do something in the scriptures, let's try to do that, but let's try to understand why we do it. And that understanding decreases suffering. Anyway, that's all the thoughts for today. I'm Jay Hendricks. Please like, subscribe, notification tab, share these videos if you can, and have a good day. Bye.